thing for the two of you guys. We are no longer streaming to Twitter because Restream has decided to change their plans, and now I can only stream to two places without paying, and the monthly fee for doing more than that is $20 a month, which is 100% not going to happen. So I get $5 to $7.
I actually forgot about Twitter stream.
Yeah, there were a handful of people that would watch, and I feel badly getting rid of it. But like, if they were to say like $5 or $7 to add maybe one more channel or whatever, that would probably be fine. But I'm not spending $20 a month just to stream to Twitter.
Yeah.
Sorry, Twitter peeps. Hi, Jimbo Jangles. How's it going?
Did you see the kitty salt that stole my heart on the internet this week or last week? Or is the farmer in a truck who like stopped in front of one?
Oh, and there's like a bunch of kitties coming out of the
he's like, hey, there's a cat in here. Oh god, there's 30.
Yeah, like Jurassic Park moment with kittens. It was just like, oh no.
Yeah.
I would
let's all wave to Feyre.
Hi.
All right. You guys ready to start this thing?
Yep. Sure. Why not?
Okay, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpier.
Hi, friends.
And the Nymph.
Happy Father's Day.
Yes, happy Father's Day.
It is, isn't it?
And if you are listening to audio version, we have also released alongside this the latest episode of Game Club for Umurangi Generation. If you want to hear certainly probably the most interesting episode we've put out in a while for like 3 or 4 different reasons, it's a good one. Lot of differing opinions about a divisive game that turned out to not be the game that I think any of us thought it was. So all three of us had very different ideas of what this game would be, and it wasn't any of those. So you should definitely go check that one out. You should also go check out... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I just remembered. I have one more holiday because I forgot, because this is its second year. Happy Juneteenth as well.
Yes, I was trying to think of like, gosh, there's another holiday here on the 19th.
I was doing that same thing. It's like, what the hell was the... Yep, because it was just enacted last year. So
happy Juneteenth.
Second anniversary.
Yeah. Also check out patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers.
Get all the behind the scenes and early access stuff. We had a very frustrated Outcast this week. Do you want to hear us swear a bunch? That this Outcast is good for...
Straight old man as well, by the way.
Yes, all the way old man yelling at clouds for a little bit. The Outcast is every week the patron exclusive episode where we're talking about all the non-video game stuff, all the stuff that's kind of going on in our lives. And this week, apparently, all of our pet peeves, too. So if you want to know about all of that stuff and our sound-related weirdness, go check that out.
I forgot about that already. It was like 10 minutes ago and I forgot about it.
It's real good. You can also get early access to We Roguelike It, the show where Moon and I are playing through as many roguelikes as we can possibly stomach. And you also get early access to Critical Misses, a show where Moon and I are catching up all the media hits we missed. We just recorded, and it won't be out for a while. Has recorded another Critical Misses production meeting. This time ramping up for season 15.
Hold on.
Yeah.
How long did the production meeting go?
What's your estimate?
Not that. 45 minutes.
Okay, that would be nice. It went on for almost an hour and 20 minutes.
Jeez.
So
really putting in the overtime.
Yeah. So if you want that is also exclusive over at the Patreon page for $5 and higher tiers. We really get into crafting a bunch of future episodes and kind of figuring out maybe the different ways we want to play with the format for the show. So if you wanted to really hear us kind of break down how we make these shows and how we kind of evolve them. Highly recommend those episodes, and those are pretty different from a lot of the other stuff we put out. It's not as snappy as some of this stuff is. It very much is. You're really you're really hanging out with us during a meeting. So I like it. It's pretty good. I enjoy it.
If you want to see how the spice gets into the chorizo,
exactly. Hey. I love chorizo. Man, I'm so hungry. You can get all of that.
I've barely eaten so far today. Don't even start with food.
Okay, all right.
You saw me just before the podcast started eat that one piece of Toblerone just now.
That's right.
Well, dude, I demolished an entire pyramid of those things yesterday.
And I got like one of the massive ones. My kids gave it to me.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's a weapon.
We already evolved into the food cast.
That's right. If you want to hear more stuff like this, that's where you can get all that over in the Outcast over at patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers.
Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
So it's a very, very, very short episode for me this week because if you haven't figured it out yet from me constantly mentioning it, I am moving. So most of my time not in work is spent boxing up and moving all of my crap.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the up and down the apartment stairs with the heavy crap is the problem.
That's right.
So I'm exhausted on so many different fronts.
Just open a window and push it out.
That's right. It'll be fine.
You did hear the part where I said stairs, right?
Right.
Put your mattress outside the window. Come on, I can't do all the moving for you.
Open your car trunk, have it just bounce right off the mattress into the car. It's flawless. It's
the problem
perfect.
is that you're not letting gravity do its God-intended work, okay?
That's right. That's right. Let gravity help.
Okay. I'm not even saying anything. I played.
Good call.
Okay, so I played like 10 minutes of Breath of the Wild, whatever. I didn't even manage to do much in that.
Okay.
I wouldn't even bother writing these down for me, to be honest, Boston. Obviously, Umurangi Generations I did play a lot of because that was Game Club. So, as Boston already mentioned, that should be coming out shortly.
If you want to play it before you listen to the show, it's on Game Pass on PC and Xbox, and it's like 3 hours long, max. I mean, hour and a half, 2 hours. It's pretty short.
Yeah, it's really cute too.
Yep.
Let's see. I did that. I did maybe 5 or 6 little side missions in Lego Star Wars because the great cleanup, needs to continue at some point.
Yep.
And other than that, the only thing I did was the first Sever mission. Yes, for. Oh, I'm so bad with names.
Zavala in Destiny 2?
Yes, thank you. Zavala, yes.
Yep.
Did his first Sever mission, which I think this week is actually probably his second, which I haven't even managed to do that yet.
It is much shorter than the first one, thankfully. Did you get you got the new... Go ahead.
Surprisingly, I also played Destiny 2 this week.
Hey, nice.
And I got a trophy.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Which one?
Was it complete a story mission?
No, it was for completing the Nightfall, because I didn't have the one for the Witch Queen.
Right.
Yes.
Because when that popped, I was like, no, I've done Nightfalls before. Why is...
Right.
Never mind. Dude, that Nightfall sucked.
Yes.
It was the one with the asteroids and the lady that can keep throwing you up in the air and throwing you off of your platform.
Yep. It is one of the roughest Nightfalls.
Yeah, I hate that one.
It's real rough.
It also didn't help that I was a lower level than my son, who has been constantly playing it. So he's like, "Why do you keep dying?" And I'm like,
"Because I'm not on summer vacation, bud."
It was so. I will also say too, a lot of it was just me screwing around and be like, "Oh, there's not a platform there. Guess I'm dead." A lot of the other stuff was there was a massive AoE attack that just happened, and I happened to be on the fringe of it, and that thing killed me with no issues.
Oh, this boss screams at you and pushes you back. Oh, off a platform. Aha, Guardian down. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did play that mission. The amount of times I've been yeeted off the map by those stupid flying rocks because I never pay attention to them.
Yep.
Is a little bit ridiculous.
Dude. Yeah. And I still hate the bounce mechanic because I happen to jump in between what you're in the middle and there's two floating rocks to the left and right of you.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually asteroids start going in between them through the lanes, so you kind of
Yeah.
have to time your jump. And I did not know that. So
They're the ones that keep me off the edge.
yeah,
Yep.
as I'm jumping, my son's like, hey, there's going to be asteroids. And I hit one of the biggest asteroids in the game and bounce right back onto the platform. I'm like, well, at least I had that going for me.
Yep.
It went exactly as planned.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, doing the story stuff for this season has been pretty interesting. I'm annoyed because obviously it's one of those things that's like, yeah, I'd like to sit down and do a deep dive and do the repeatable missions, not the nightmare one. I hate that kind of event.
The public event, Nightmare.
Yeah.
It starts with a D.
'cause they
will never remember it.
Yeah, they have the same one on the moon as well, and it's just like,
Yep.
okay. I hate that kind of event because you need a squad, and I don't play with a squad 99% of the time.
Me neither. I just wait for people to show up and be like, "Oh, hey, I'm running the event. Come on over."
Oh, hey, you too?
Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, samesies. Yeah. What's up?
But I did like Zavala's first server thing. Like I said, I've got to do his second one, so I'm sure Boston has already done the second one.
Yeah.
Again, really great with the inky cutscenes.
Those like inky, sketchy cutscenes are so good. Oh man.
And it's given a lot of backstory for a bunch of characters that you have some of, but not a lot of, which I really do like.
A lot of information about Zavala I didn't know. And Lance Reddick killing it with the voice acting this season.
I'm sure he's on Twitter talking about how much he likes Destiny still.
He loves Destiny so much. Ironically, not a Titan main, plus a Warlock.
Yeah, I know. That's the traitorous part
wild.
of him that I need to come to terms with.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you not a Titan? Come on.
Indeed.
It's literally him being a traitor. It's terrible.
You are the Titan.
You're like the Titan, except for maybe Saint. You are the Titan.
Right.
Like,
it's true.
Like, that's it. So get away from me. But no, it's fine. It's fun. I have had zero time or energy to play anything. So that's pretty much it for me, unfortunately.
All right, Nimp, what do you have this week?
Well, continuing off of Destiny, so I had to do, because I had bought that 3 DLC pack for my son, and I did it on my primary, so I also had it. I had to start I think it was the Beyond Light quest. That way I could get the stasis.
The ice planet.
Okay,
one.
yeah.
If you're on the ice planet,
yeah. Went through most of that, and then my son and I were completing an older quest that I had where I had to go to Mars to go mess with the Forge unit thing there.
Oh, like where you make the weapons, whatever they call that
giant pendulum thing.
Yeah,
some Forge.
That's a Witch Queen quest. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to go talk to that, and then it had me go to the tower to go talk to the dude who does the engrams. And then the dude with the engrams is like, okay, you need to go back to the thing that you were just at.
Right.
So I go back to that. And then it's like, hey, you did this. Now you need to go back to the tower. At which point I promptly shut the game off and wrote in my notes, you have wasted my time for the last time.
It's so wild because...
Spoiler alert. No, it hasn't.
It's so wild because, like, for the longest time, they've been so good about not doing that. Like, someone will call you or a hologram will pop up and you'll, like, talk to the person right there. But for some reason, everything around this crafting is like, well, now go talk to Banshee. Go back to Mars. Oh, now go talk to Rahul. Go back to Mars. It's like,
the thing, because my son was standing right next to me when I was yelling about how inept the game was being, because it's literally I just needed to talk to the guy who does the engrams so that he could tell me a thing.
Right.
I'm like, is your radio broke?
Right.
Like,
do you not have a smartphone?
Yeah, 5 planets away, no problem.
Yeah.
But I have to come talk to you in person for you to tell me, hey, flip this knob and it'll do the thing that you want.
It's really weird. Yeah.
So,
well, in the game's defense, I've never had Rahul over the radio. So therefore,
That's
I don't know
true.
if he has a radio.
He's in the tower. They have communications.
He is a
equipment.
big jerk, so maybe he's like, I don't want to use the phones.
Oh, screw that.
Guardian.
So
He's got a flip phone.
He totally does.
it still works, man. Just turn that satellite towards Mars.
That's
and
right.
It'll be there in like a
It
couple
just
of
showed
days.
back up. You can see it right in the sky.
Yeah. I would rather shut the game off and wait 3 actual days to get his message than to go back and forth constantly.
It's in the mail, Guardian.
So after that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to play a far superior game.
Mm.
So I downloaded all 99 gigs of Warframe.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
And obviously I'm being extremely facetious about it. Whatever. If you like Destiny, I don't care.
Warframe is also very good and also a lot.
And
And
also very confusing.
a
Like,
lot.
if there was a dual running knockout bracket for most annoying fan base and most confusing game, the final in both categories would be
And
Warframe
least
versus
tutorials.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm a filthy casual in both Destiny and Warframe because it's been years since I've played Warframe. But
That's the way to be.
so I load up the game. My Tenno is still kneeling in my ship. Ordis is still there. I still love Ordis, who is your computer AI who is broken and randomly tells you to commit mass genocide and then corrects himself and says that he may need maintenance.
Great.
No, you're fine, man. You're
Yeah,
fine.
it's all good.
So, trying to remember, okay, what missions were I doing? All this crap. Like, it's literally just a pile of text on a screen. And on that screen are other screens within my ship that I can interact with to figure out what I'm trying to do.
It's the inception of screens, where it's screens within screens within screens.
So much information!
Yes. I had a bunch of mail that I needed to clear out so that I could get items. I got those. And then I picked a random event that was happening. So I was like, all right, let me just get back into something.
Let me go shoot something.
I picked this event. It's on Earth. And I go to it. And I had to walk away for a moment, come back, and my my Oberon is on a beach. And there's like inflatables everywhere and like a taco stand. And I'm like, what the hell
is this Fortnite?
This?
What's going on here?
And then I die. And then I revive. And then I find, okay, I am playing a teams match on a beach.
Okay.
With super soakers.
Yep.
Literally super soakers. I have a little tube around my Oberon.
Right.
For him to float in the water. And you shoot streams of water at the quote-unquote enemy to take them out. And when you have run out of ammo, you have to pump your super soaker.
Oh, I love everything
to build
about
up the pressure. Yeah, you're basically clicking like L3 to hurry up and pump it, and you got like the little gauge that's popping up.
Oh, it's so good.
And then you just run into a stream of water once you've run out of your ammunition to refill your super soaker.
That's great. I love it.
Meanwhile, I'm doing like ninja flips and all this other weird stuff while shooting stuff.
Like screws in the air.
Yeah, like I love this game.
It's so good.
Dude, God, it's so stupid.
You haven't been hosed until you've been hosed by a Tenno doing a 630 through the air above you.
That's right.
And then you watch it on YouTube later because it was so awesome.
That's right. Hey, that's me on the receiving end.
But yeah, so then going through that, somehow we won. I wasn't even sure I was with teammates because everyone had a health bar above their head and everyone seemed to just be shooting at everyone. But so I just kind of shot at everyone and went from there. And then at the end, it's like, hey, you were on this team and you won. I was like, cool. I had like 7 kills or whatever.
Right.
All right. Unlocked the skin for a weapon. It's like, cool. I'm going to put this back down now because I don't know what's what anymore.
Yeah.
So I have to look into that. So from there, went back into Elden Ring.
Oh no.
Yes. Last I talked, there were 5 potential bosses that I had to go through to beat the game. The first boss I found, I walked into their arena and they just kind of stood there and talked. Long enough that I ran at them and hit them, made them stop talking and realized, hey, I'm staggering them every time I hit them.
Ooh.
So my mimic and I were just hitting back and forth.
Juggling them.
Yeah, the guy did nothing. He dodged once, which I counter swung and got him back into stagger, and then he was dead. So I got all of his equipment.
Nice.
Cool. This is not how the rest of this conversation is going to go.
Oh, I was assuming.
Yeah. The next boss, walk in there, and this guy has 2 forms. Really awesome, both forms. Wiped the floor with me. Like, you basically have to get him halfway down his health bar, then he will do something to transform. He then kind of turns into like some character from Street Fighter. Picture Ryu, but cooler and
Nice.
taller. He actually does like a couple fighting stances where he will pick you up and do... Oh God, I don't remember what the move is, but basically he will pick you up, jump in the air, throw you on the ground, and then slam down onto you.
Oh, yeah.
That hurts a lot.
Some Zangief business.
Yeah. So I couldn't beat his second form. I could get up because once you get closer on his first form to half health, he starts doing like this massive AoE attack that hits like everything in the arena. Even when you're blocking, it hurts. So I just couldn't do enough damage to keep myself alive long enough to see through his second form. So I went out and did some grinding. I was able to find where I needed to get the bells. I'm sorry. So you need bells to give to these people so that way they will sell you certain items.
Okay.
I found the bell that I needed to get my summons up to level 10, so I can just buy them instead of having to find them somewhere in the world. That was a whole other 3-hour, 5-hour side quest. So I get my Mimic tier up to level 10. I upgrade a couple of my weapons, walk in there, and we just wipe the floor with him on like my 3rd attempt.
Yeah.
Cool. It was still a very hard one fight, but we got him. Go up against the final boss. No, it's just not happening.
Just immediate death.
Kind of. The final boss kind of sucks. It does nothing but AoE attacks. It also has an attack where it throws a lightning bolt down, and then like 2 seconds later, the lightning bolt blows up. Every attack that it does a ton of like widespread, like a cone in front of it.
Right.
Until it gets cheeky and stomps the ground, which does a whole attack. And then it jumps up in the air, does a bunch of stuff, which does everything in the arena. So I was kind of in the same predicament of, well, great, I'm getting nowhere. So then I went and found another summon that I wanted to get anyway, which was called, I think it's called Tish. It's the assassin. This thing can do, it slashes the air and it shoots out basically like this blood beam range attack thing that can bring down health and, you know, permanently make their permanent health bar shorter and all that fun stuff.
Ooh, nice.
All right, cool. They were a pain in the butt because you had to fight them first and beat them. And then you can summon them. Yeah, and this thing dodges everywhere. Anytime you get close to it, that thing dodges like 6 feet back and just keeps going, and then it does its range attack and screws you over. Long story short, finally killed that. Got that as a summon, upgraded them all the way up to 10, went back up for the final boss, and I think maybe on my 5th attempt, got that form nailed down. So cool. Nice. I can consistently take out this boss. The other final boss is the one that sucked even more, because when you lose to this one, you still have to refight the first final boss. Yeah. The final boss is in a massive arena, and this thing can go and hit you from just about anywhere.
Right.
And flies up in the air and does all this other fun crap that I won't get into for spoilers. But even with this person, it was basically down to I had to wait until just luck favored me, and I happened to dodge correctly, and, you know, my summon happened to stay out farther and not get hit.
The trade winds were favorable.
Pretty much. And it was just as my kids were leaving, because my wife was taking them somewhere, and I was redoing this boss fight. And as I hear them pulling out of the drive is when I did the final blow to the final boss. And you can believe the stream of curses that came out towards that TV.
That's right.
That had finally been done. Because I think since I had gotten to the last 2 bosses, it would probably been about like 2 or 3 days of me just trying out. Like I was swapping out equipment, trying different things, messing around. I kind of screwed myself with the armor, because even though I usually stay mid for weight, so that way my roll, I have a decent roll, but I'm not fat rolling, where it's basically you watch the guy hit the ground and then just kind of simulate a roll.
Yeah.
but just changing my armor from one set to another made me just lighter enough that it was throwing off my rolls. So I would roll when I was used to and wasn't hitting the iframes during an attack, and it was basically like I might as well have just stood there and taken the attack full on.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, a lot of experimenting, and then just everything, stars aligned, and I beat the final boss.
Nice. Yes.
So
let's go. Victory cursor.
Yes. Yes, a lot of it. Which I sent my son a text message right after that. I was so happy, and he was like, "I'm at Target," and I'm like, "Yeah, this is what I did." And he's like,
"Yeah, but
cool.
Did you hear? I beat the boss.
Yeah.
I don't care where
don't
care where you are."
Yeah, it's like you don't understand.
You don't get it, kid.
So once you beat the game, though, and once you beat this boss, you get its soul, and you can go take its soul to make weapons. And now I have this great sword that looks kind of cool, and it's, I guess, it's Ash of War, which is kind of like its ult attack. Is you basically swing the sword in front of you, and it just creates a wave of gold.
Yeah.
And I have upgraded this to the point that it kills a lot of things in one hit.
Yeah. Get your revenge on Hand Manor.
A lot of things. So I did a lot of that. I did some side grinding and stuff like that, and grabbing a couple weapons, and finally was like, all right, let me just go into New Game Plus already. Let me check this out.
Sure.
Looking up the stats, and they just released an update too. So when I did it, the only thing that came over was just the items that you had and the levels and, equipment and so on. You didn't keep any of the merchant bells or, obviously anything story related, that fun stuff. As of this new patch that came out the day after I did New Game Plus, I think it's 1.5 or 0.05 or whatever, the merchant bells will now move over into your New Game Plus.
Ooh, all right. That sounds pretty good.
It's nice. That way you don't have to hunt them back down. I may or may not have gotten hosed on that. I don't know, but it's not going to be that difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've gotten as far as taking on the first tree sentinel that you find just as you enter into the world from the starting.
Right, like the tutorial area
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I summoned my mimic, and we just wiped the floor with that guy.
Revenge!
Yeah, pretty much, because that guy was nothing but problems, and I have a list of bosses that I'm going to be looking at to just wipe the floor with now.
You're first.
Apparently, when you do your, they call it your next journey, so I'm on journey 2 now, New Game Plus.
Okay.
It increases the amount of souls, runes that you're supposed to get by 500%.
Wow.
I haven't checked. Yeah, I haven't checked the math on that or anything. So that was my other primary reason, because I'm planning on just going through and max statting this character.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's still really hard right now for me to not just pop that in and just like, all right, let's go on this direction. Like, look up a guide and be like, what did I miss? Let's go in this other direction that I never thought to go in. Or,
let's get 100% this time.
Yeah, let's finally kill all the dragons that I cried every time one came at me. So yes, Elden Ring. Still would recommend it.
Yeah.
If you're into that kind of thing. If you're not, maybe watch a couple videos. Maybe you'll be into it. You never know. It's still really fun.
If you're a sadist or a masochist, it's the perfect game for you.
I mean, there are ways to make the game easier, especially with the co-oping, which, I mean, you could do in any Souls game. But, I mean, the co-oping helps. The summons do help as well. But it's not, especially since they patched everything, it used to be that you could, call in a level 10 mimic tier and just literally sit down and watch it fight a boss and win.
That's right. Good luck, buddy.
Now that is definitely not the case anymore.
Right.
But yeah, my next game, since I've beaten Elden Ring, it's like, all right, let's go back into Dark Souls Remastered. At that time, I was just getting ready to go into the Crystal Caves and take on Cease the Scaleless, which is a dragon boss. I have since done that, and I am now in the Tomb of Giants. I have come across my friend Patches, who...
Oh, no.
It took a lot of effort for me not to kick him off a cliff, because I know exactly what he's trying to get me to do right now, which is going to be kick me off a cliff.
Right.
Everyone's lovable, hateable character. So that's where I'm currently at right now. I had to actually look up a guide to remember how to get to the Tomb of Giants because
Mm.
it's been so long since I played this that I had no clue. And even watching the guide, I'm like, where the hell are you even
Yeah.
going on this?
Where are you starting? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's where I'm at on that. Not a whole lot to report on there. The next game, Technomancer.
Ah, the old classic.
Yes, I have gone through and beat this game as well, finally.
Hey.
I was on the last 2 main story missions.
There you
Of course.
go figure.
Yeah. So basically, I beat Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. I will tell you now, if anyone goes to play this, you cannot go to the final area in the game until you have completed all of the primary missions.
Oh, okay.
Which
Okay.
doesn't seem... It seems like an obvious thing, but at the time, when I'm like,
Right.
no, this is the primary quest, and it is telling me to go here, why is this grayed out?
Right.
And then I'm like, all right, screw it. I'm just going to finish out these other missions. Not really. I thought these were side missions that I still had.
Right, and not
So
like
that was
the
why-
story.
Yeah, which is why
Right.
I ignored it. No, these were like Chapter 3 main missions.
Mm.
So once I finally resolved all of that stuff, it then kicked me into Chapter 4, which all I had left in Chapter 4 was to go into the final final area so I
Gotcha.
could beat the game,
Right.
which is what I did.
Nice.
I will also say that the trophies are kind of lagging behind on this one because like I said, I beat Chapter 3 and Chapter 4, and then I went back into the trophies and I did not have Chapter 3 or Chapter 4 completed trophies unlocked.
Oh.
Yep.
What's going on with this? I go on the boards. No one else is having this issue.
Of
Everyone's
course.
like, it is a non-missable trophy because it is story related, and
That's
I'm like,
right.
well, it's obviously missable because
I am missing
don't have
it.
them. Later on, like literally an hour or two later, all of a sudden my PC does, the achievement unlocked noise,
Mhm.
and I'm playing on my
Yep.
PlayStation right now, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? Pull up the companion act because I didn't see what the thing was, and it's like, oh yeah, here's all your trophies for beating the game.
Congrats.
All right, cool. So
It's the best and the worst when that happens.
Yeah.
it is because I was already at the point where it's like, well, I'm not replaying this game to get the final 2 trophies. People will just have to believe that I've beaten it.
Right.
And honestly, I don't care if people do or not. So
Right.
I have the save file. That's all that matters to me. It is a fun game. The
Yeah.
story pretty much went in the direction I figured it was going to go.
Mhm.
I still like the jank, and the whole reason I had picked up this game again is because Spider announced that they are going to be doing a Souls-like game, which looks really interesting.
Yep.
So I was like, well, before I buy this third Spider interactive game, I need to beat the 2 that I already have.
Right.
So I went through, completed this one. I'm thinking I might restart my Greedfall game only because I absolutely do not like how my character looks in the game.
Yeah.
It looked fine.
They did
That-
just bump out the Series X upgrade for that game as well.
Yeah,
so
That's right. They did. Yeah.
It looked fine in character creator, and literally, I think I have like 10 hours in this game right now.
Mhm.
The
And
Mass
every
Effect first
time,
happened.
yeah,
Right.
every time the camera swings a certain way, I notice that, like, for some reason, like around the eyes, like their face is like sunken in.
Oh,
I-
yeah.
Don't know how I missed that on the character creator.
Right.
And I've gone as far as, okay, well, you're just gonna have this big hat equipped that covers your face, so I don't have to see it. But
That's
every
right.
once in a while, that camera swings. It's like, God, that is the ugliest character I have ever made. This is
This-
really bothering
This is
me.
the worst thing I've made, man.
So I think I'm gonna restart Greedfall so I can fix my character.
Yeah. No, I don't think anyone would fault you.
No, but either way, so that'll be on the docket at some point in the future. Because I started my next game, Dragon's Dogma, because you guessed it, we have a sequel
Oh.
coming out now.
Mm-hmm. We'll
And
be talking
Speaking
about
of
that in
games
our.
I really to play.
so
Good.
this is a game that on paper is everything that I love, and for some reason I have just never been able to get into it. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I cannot give you a reason for why I cannot get into this game.
Yeah.
The furthest I have gotten is getting to the main big city for the first time.
So you're like past the like prologue stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just where I've managed to stop, and I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Now I actually bought it because I have the disc version. I'm like, I'm lazy. I don't want to put it.
That's right.
Yeah, first world problems. I don't want to reach over 4 feet to turn
right.
around and go 3 feet to put a disc into a machine that I don't think I've ever used the disc drive on the Series X since I've owned it.
Well, what's Dragon's Dogma, like $7 right now?
It's actually on sale right now on all platforms for $4.79 right now.
Oh my god, that's so cheap. I need to go buy it again.
Pushed my laziness for it's only $4. That's worth my fat butt not standing.
Yeah.
God, what is wrong with us? Anyway.
I'm not Googling the Xbox store. I'm not doing a search.
I'm not typing in Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Embarrassingly enough, the Dark Arisen part finally clicked while I was playing this game today.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why it never did.
Yep.
I don't know, man. Something about this game just blocks my mind. But anyway, so
I have literally $5.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what you're losing money by not saving it.
I've never played the Dark Arisen expand. That's right. Click that clicker
over the buy button and just let gravity do the work. I am telling you, gravity is there for you.
That's right.
Well, it may or may not be preloaded for viewing on my machine already.
I have never played the Dark Arisen DLC stuff because I played the game before all that stuff came out, and Dragon's Dogma is still one of my favorite 360 games of all time.
So yes, getting back into why I have issues. The fact that you can jump on monsters in this game and hang on to them and keep attacking them is reason enough for me to keep playing this game.
It's so cool.
The fact that you not only create your main character, but also the pawn character, who is your companion throughout the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you get god tier levels of magic in this game that I'm just now discovering because I picked a mage because I'm trying to branch out from just hitting things with a stick to kill it. Like literally a tornado. I can conjure a tornado.
Mm-hmm. The archer has a spell where you, like a third person shoot, like res, you like paint a number of targets and then you let the trigger go and it just fires a volley of arrows at a target.
Oh, that's awesome. Because I actually have my pawn I created to make as a rogue type, so it has like, the 2 daggers and a bow.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been upgrading the skills that they can have as well. The fact that you can light things on fire as a mage, I'm sure you can do it as other things, but at nighttime the enemies get harder, and nighttime is a lot shorter than daytime in this game.
Yeah.
Because of that. But the fact that in the beginning area I had goblins attack me and I did a fire boon, which made it so that all of my regular attacks would be fire inflicted.
Nice.
And I'm shooting these tiny little fireballs at these goblins, enough to set them on fire. And in my screen that is pure black because I don't have a lantern, you just see this goblin on fire running around in this forest. And that's the only light source you have in this area until it dies. I mean...
Yeah, if anyone doesn't know the lineage behind this game, the Devil May Cry dude and the Monster Hunter dude were 2 of the leads on this game. So, like, if you want to play... If you like Monster Hunter and you like climbing on giant monsters, you can climb on a griffin in this game and attack it and kill it while it's in the air with you on its back.
Yeah.
It's cool as hell.
I also have an ability called Levitate, which I'm finding is kind of useless because... The description was that it's a core skill, so I don't like equip it, but I basically just double tap A and I just kind of levitate in place. The description was that it would help you survive great falls by slowing down your descent. Sure. It does not do this. Right. What it does is you jump and then you hit A again, and your guy person pulls out their staff in front of them, your staff glows, and they're like concentrating on it, and they just kind of levitate in place until the spell ends roughly 5 seconds later, and then you drop down.
Right.
In the beginning area, outside of the main village, there's like this seaside cliff area that you can run around in. And I wanted to check, okay, how far of a distance is it until it kills you? Spoilers, not very far.
Yeah.
And how does this levitate spell work? Spoilers, not that great.
It's a bad combo.
Yeah. So what I was discovering, like I was just saying, you hold down A after you do like a double jump to levitate. And then I was thinking, okay, maybe it like slows, since I've activated it, once it deactivates, it just, slows me until I go to the bottom. I had to jump off a cliff to test it.
Naturally.
No, it does not do that. Once the levitate spell stops, you just fall like you should.
Right.
About 3 or 4 times jumping off of a cliff and trying to see, okay, when's the latest that I can hit this? Okay, stop moving forward while I'm levitating because then I'm missing the rocks and then plummeting the rest of the way down.
Right.
I finally got it where instead of it killing me outright, it's just doing like 300 points of damage to me. So I'm surviving at least.
Getting there.
So yeah. It's gonna be coming. It's already come in handy with exploration, like jumping from one building to another. As long as it's within 5 seconds of me running off the edge and jumping and activating this thing.
Right.
So that's worked out for exploration. Also the fact that your character can grab ledges, really awesome.
Yep.
Without you needing to prompt for them to do it.
Yeah.
Like I said, the climbing on bigger enemies, you can also, like with the goblins, where your pawn can run up and just grab them, and you're basically doing the wrestling thing of you have their arms pinned up and like you just run up and just start beating the crap out of them until they're dead.
That's a full Nelson, by the way.
There you go. So there's also the thing with armor. Since I'm a mage, I have robes. For about 2 hours, my mage didn't have pants.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I had a tunic and a cloak, and for some reason, the boots that I put on would not allow me to have pants.
You're rocking the Winnie the Pooh.
So about mid-thigh down, everything was just there for the world to see.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't like
it in the breeze.
Yes. I did not like that style. I found it offensive, and it's my character.
I don't like the look of it.
But, this thing gave me 129 in defense, so I guess I'm just going to have to live with it until I find pants.
That's right.
So yeah, I also have a really rocking beard because this game sorely lacks in goatees for facial hair.
Yep.
But the beard has kind of made me jealous enough that I kind of want to grow out my own beard again.
Yeah, there you go.
But not to the length that I have this one because that's a lot of work. So I'm probably not going to do that because you just heard how lazy and I am about standing up, going 4 feet, and then turning around, going 3 feet. So.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like I'm enjoying this game now. Like I said, I can't tell you why. Literally the other 6 or 7 times I've tried to play this game, why it wasn't clicking.
I mean, it has a pretty rough start. I think I think the game really hits a stride when you hunt down your first griffin. There's like a whole quest line to go do that one. I feel like that's where it really took off for me, and I was in. But before that, it's sort of like, this prologue is a little bit not great, and like jumping around this town, this isn't that great. It starts off a little rough.
But I mean, like, you've all, over the, 2 years I've been on here, have heard the types of games that I've played. I can get over a 40-hour prologue like it's nothing.
We've played Final Fantasy 13.
And beaten it successfully.
That's right.
But yeah, I can't put a finger on why it just wasn't jive. Like, maybe I'm just happening to blame me and being like, I just wasn't in the mindset for it.
Yeah, it just wasn't the right
reason.
time. Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, within the opening credits, a dragon tears out your heart and eats it in front of you.
Yeah, and then it's like, all right, start the game. It's like, what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
After you tried attacking it with a sword and you were doing no damage to its health whatsoever.
Such a great shot of the dragon with your heart on its claw. Just like, it's like, yep, that's great. Dragon's
I also like, in that same cutscene, how your body basically explodes. Like when its claw touches your chest and it pulls out your heart, your body jumps up in the air like 10 feet, and like all this water goes everywhere, and there's just blood everywhere.
Yep. And like the game starts off as like, here's a sleepy RPG. Oh, good morning, you just woke up. Dragon attack, you're dead. It's like, okay, great, all right.
So I am planning on continuing to play this game, if nothing else, just so that I can keep talking about it on the show.
Yep.
The show motivates me to play games that normally I don't sometimes. So even though there's absolutely no reason why I shouldn't be enjoying this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it. I will be playing more with my pantsless wonder after this podcast.
That's right.
So...
Naturally.
I'm not even going to write it down.
Nope.
That's going to write it down.
Pre-veto that one. Is that all your games?
Yes, sir.
All right. I have a bunch. The new PlayStation Plus launched this week. Yep. There were growing pains, of course. You probably have all seen the $10,000 Tekken 3, which is really great.
Or people not being able to download games that they already have purchased and can access on their PS3 with no problem.
Yeah, there's a lot of like licensing growing pains. Seems like they've ironed out a lot of those. I'm sure there's still like one or two things that are issues, but they seem to be rolling out fixes pretty quickly. I did download a bunch of game trials, and I tried because they were like, well, so there's a whole bunch of free games that they just added, like the PS5 version of Demon's Souls, which I thought they were going to put out the like remaster one for PS4, not the brand new one. I downloaded Miles Morales because I still haven't played that, and they're like, well, that's free now too. And I was like, well, I'm downloading that for sure. I downloaded the game trials of Cyberpunk because that's a 5-hour trial from what it appears, which it should be a pretty good amount of time to figure out if I like that game or not. And then I downloaded the Ollie World trial, which is an hour-long one. And I've been curious about that, and I played probably about 15 minutes of that. And that seems really good so far. I'm very happy to see that Sony didn't pull a Sony. My worry was that the timer started like as soon as you download it. It's like, fire it up now, go play now. You have an hour. But thankfully, the hour is of playtime. So I played for 15 minutes. I closed it. I went back to it, and they're like, "Hey, you still got 45 minutes on this game trial." It's like, that perfect. That's exactly what I want. I want that to work.
I was going to say, because with how everything's been going, it wouldn't surprise me to find out. Oh yeah, you put it in rest mode to come back to it, and guess what? You used up all of your time.
Yeah, it expired 5 days ago because you downloaded it 5 days ago, and it's like, why? What? So all of that seems to work really well. I haven't played any PS1 games yet because a lot of the games in there I have either played to death or I'm kind of not interested in the first place. The one I really want to try is Jumping Flash, just to see, like, that's kind of a rather intense one for an emulator. So I'll try that at some point. But everything seems like it works fine so far.
I can tell you Wild Arms, still really good.
Nice.
That intro whistling.
Oh, the classic. Man.
God. If you've never heard of the intro for Wild Arms, go find a video. You will hear some really fine whistling.
Yeah, some good old JRPG whistling. Yeah, it's really good. Final Fantasy V Forge Out Fiesta has started. My run one group for this year: Samurai, Berserker, Geomancer, Ninja. It's going fine. I'm almost done. Are you playing
this on your new Japanese copy that you picked up?
No, I'm not. I'm not playing my Super Famicom.
I just wanted the extra challenge of not understanding the language.
Yeah, I would give myself like 75% odds that I'd be able to finish this game in Japanese at this point. I am playing. I'm actually doing this run on the Pixel remaster, Pixel remake, the Pixel version. So far, I've been pretty happy with that, especially for the Fiesta. It's really nice having auto battle because there are times where you just want to run away from everything. So since I have a ninja, use the smoke command, you just piece out of a battle, and for 2 or 3 reasons, you're kind of getting out of a bunch of battles all at once. Or sometimes you just sort of need to grind for like money or a specific item or weapon or something. You just set up your party. The auto battle by default remembers the last command you have selected. So it's not just doing attack, attack, attack. You can do throwing items or casting magic, and it will remember, oh, I want to cast magic on an entire party or an individual enemy or something. So it's actually fairly smart, especially if you're trying to grind. And
Nice.
so far, I don't really have any complaints. The soundtrack is great. I like a lot of the stuff they did graphically in this. It runs really well. I'm playing it through my Steam Link, through Moonlight, because for some reason, it is still not on any home consoles, which is absolutely baffling. But I'm so far been pretty happy with it. As long as this run ends fine, I'll probably play the rest of my runs this year on the Pixel version. But so far so good. I'm not going to get too deep in the woods on that one because you can get really deep on that game.
Are you really surprised our Final Fantasy game isn't out on all of the home consoles?
Yes, because
Square loves money.
Yes, Square loves money a lot and is more than happy to milk, especially Final Fantasy 4 and 6 for every last penny. But there has to be something that is preventing that from coming out to, at the very least, the Switch, where it would make $1 bajillion.
They're trying to figure out how to keep the text the same and not allowing people to change it.
I wouldn't doubt it, because that's the first thing I do on all of these ones is I put the font from Final Fantasy Mystic Quest into the game, and it looks really good. But yeah, the Fiesta is on right now. If you've never played Final Fantasy V, do a normal run of the Fiesta. It will probably still be a good time. Final Fantasy V is good and campy.
On God, what is the name of that podcast? The RPG podcast. I think you listened
Axe
to it
of
too,
the Blood
Boston.
God?
No. There was a different one. Hang on. I'm pulling it up right now. RPG University.
Right.
He had an interview with the guy who originally made 4-Job Fiesta.
Oh, yeah. RK, yeah.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Gosh darn it! Now
That's interesting. I
that
didn't realize he did an interview with that. That would be
So,
really interesting.
If you're interested, it's season 3, episode 84.
Nice.
So
Go listen to that. Also, if you're Chris Kohler interviewed RK for his boss fight book on Final Fantasy V, because part of the latter half of that book is Final Fantasy V was a huge hit in Japan and famously never came out here in America because it was deemed too difficult, and it was going to come out here on Super NES as Final Fantasy Extreme, and was shelved fairly quickly. And part of the book is Final Fantasy V is really popular now in the modern day because of the Fiesta. And so many people have started playing it because there's these fun limitations you put on runs, and it makes each and every run kind of like a roguelike. Each run can be something that's very, very different. So it's cool. Final Fantasy V is cool. Next game, Diablo Immortal. I have been playing that for the last couple of weeks since it was released. Let's talk about Diablo Immortal. Diablo Immortal is a really good Diablo game. It has sort of taken what I like about Diablo 3 and has kind of modernized and expanded the core of that game, and then made it control genuinely really well with touch controls on mobile, and controls perfectly with a controller on mobile. I haven't played it on PC. I know that it works fine with keyboard and mouse if you map all the controls. I've seen some people do that. I'm not going to be playing it on PC. I really like a bunch of the kind of changes they've made for mobile. One of the big things they've done is once you've discovered an entire area of the map, you can then turn on essentially auto travel. You can say, I want to go here, and turn on, and your character will just kind of walk its way to your destination. I kind of like that, because a lot of times it's just like, look, it's just, especially with touch controls, it's like, I just need to get back to town so I can, like, talk to the blacksmith. I don't want to, like, wind my way through this cemetery or whatever, and your character can just go do that. I think we saw this in the Diablo 4 trailer that came out during not E3, but they have some shared world elements, so you're wandering around the game with a bunch of other people that are playing Diablo. I think you can turn that off if you really want, but I've kind of had fun with it so far, of like, I ran into a mob of rare enemies and I'm having a little bit of a hard time. Here's a dude that's been playing way too much over the last 2 weeks and just came in like
too much.
Right, and just like whirlwinded through these things, and they just barfed out treasure, and this other party didn't even stop as they were going through. And I was like, thank you, appreciate it. I would have died. It is. I like that. Each essentially dungeon you go into, is an instanced area, and now you can matchmake at the entrance of the dungeon. So you can say like, oh, I just want to go in solo, or I want to go in with 3 other people, and kind of blow your way right through it. It's really easy to just hit, find a party. It matches anybody who's running that dungeon at any level and kind of normalizes everybody's damage. So if I'm going in at like level 8 and this other person's level 70 and they've already like Paragon level 400, we're going to do essentially the same damage. They're not just going to one-shot everything through the dungeon, which is kind of nice. You finish the dungeon, everybody goes their way. It's pretty neat. But it feels like the game has its hands in your pockets the entire time. And this is the reason why I won't be playing Diablo Immortal anymore, even though I'm really enjoying it, is it has its hand out, and it's just beckoning towards you for like, hey man, you spend $2 over here, you could maybe get like a gem and like maybe a skin for your weapon, or you gained 3 levels in your season pass, $5 for the season pass, $15 for the premium season pass, huh? You want to open this bunch of cool treasure chests? Just $5, man, for like a bunch of keys. It's like, I play stuff that has microtransactions in it already. Destiny 2 has a real money cosmetic store in it. But a lot of the stuff that I play doesn't feel like it's trying to squeeze every cent out of you. And I'm not even close to the end game, where a lot of people are saying that the brick walls just go up immediately, where progression is either slowed to a crawl or stopped completely unless you start spending some level of money. I know I've seen a YouTuber is like, well, it takes $10,000 to something. You should maybe not take the math of YouTubers that seriously. But it certainly is not a... I play a lot of gacha games, and a lot of gacha games have either like a catch-up or a pity system, where it's like, look, you have pulled 10, 20, 50 times on this banner. You haven't gotten like ultra rare or 5-star or legendary something. You're guaranteed to get it after X number of pulls. Diablo Immortal does not seem to care about that. You are more than willing to spend thousands of dollars, and it's like, yeah, man, just pull the lever on the slot machine again. Let's see if you win this. Hope you didn't. Just pull the slot machine again, with no guarantees of, spend $100, spend 50 pulls to get a guaranteed something.
And this will be the thing that they're like, oh, hey, we've heard everyone complaining and we fixed it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but it made, over the last 2 weeks, it made $25 million.
Yeah.
So, like, they don't...
It's the same thing where it's like they notice that the numbers decline, and that's when they'll start adjusting stuff on it, saying, hey, we've heard you people, and we are going to fix this.
But the way they always do that in these games is, like, they will allow free-to-play or non-whale players to catch up to whale players, and then as soon as that gap starts closing, they'll introduce something new that whale players will dump thousands of dollars into and widen that gap again. And the gap keeps widening and shrinking every couple of months. So they'll be like, oh, come back. It's way easier to pull 4-star gems now. Free-to-play players are like, great, that's increase. Yeah, all right. And whales are like, ooh, I have another currency to go grind. All right, yeah, let's do this. So I think gacha games and microtransaction heavy games like this are problematic out of hand, just by their pure nature. I am largely immune to those sort of effects. So to me, that stuff really doesn't bother me. If someone is out there saying like, look, I can't resist the slot machine. I can't resist spending all my money on Genshin Impact or whatever. None of these games are good enough to submit yourself to that level of whatever mind trickery these games are doing. Yeah. The same stuff that any sort of slot machine or any sort of casino does. But I feel like when I feel the pull of it nearly immediately, I feel like that's when it gets to kind of a gross level of taking advantage of people. And it really is a bummer because it looks incredible. It runs super well. It has the really cool Diablo cutscenes. The voice acting is all good. Like, it controls perfectly. It has all the stuff that I loved about the first 3 Diablo games. And if it wasn't so brazenly greedy, it could be one of the best mobile games of all time.
Yeah.
But it's not happy with selling you a game for X number of dollars. It's going to give the game away and bleed you for however many millions of dollars from people that can't help themselves. Or people that have more money than time, which that if they're making a conscious choice, that's fine. But it feels so bad, and it's one thing to like throw up that rude jerk that was at the Diablo Immortal, the red shirt guy, and just say like, yeah, well he was right. He tried to stop it. Stop promoting that guy. He was a jerk. You cannot like the game and not be mean about it. But to have it just come out and be this really blatant cash grab is just... And the part that frustrates me so much is Blizzard themselves... I know this is like a Blizzard and NetEase game. Blizzard themselves went through this exact same thing with Diablo 3's real money auction house. Like, you are repeating your own company's same mistakes again, but in a way that feels way more insidious. Like Diablo 3's problems were like, well, I'm not gonna grind for anything because I can go spend $2 to get the best sword in the game, and now I'm done. Which is a loot game's own problems. But Diablo Immortal is just such a bummer, and Blizzard has been out there this week saying like, well, I mean, we're not going to do that with Diablo 4. And it's like, what? You sure? Because I feel like you never learn your lesson with literally anything. Diablo 3 is in an incredible spot right now. And if you want to play a Diablo game, go play Diablo 3. It's still really great. And it's often stupid cheap. But I have absolutely no faith in Blizzard whatsoever to not put some level of this stuff in Diablo 4. And you know that game is going to be $70 minimum for like the bare bones version. And they're probably going to have like some cosmetics microtransaction shop of like, hey, do you want to look like the Diablo 2 barbarian? I mean, that's only $15. And that's not bad for a skin, right? It's like, well, yes, it is, but it shouldn't be in here. So
it also doesn't help that their parent company came out with a fun news story.
I didn't put it in the news stories this week, but yes, Activision Blizzard investigated Activision Blizzard and found Activision Blizzard did nothing wrong. Good job, everyone.
Okay.
Love
Who
it.
saw that coming?
Yeah, 2 thumbs
The
up.
people who let it happen did an investigation and can't find any evidence that it happened.
Right. Well, it wasn't me. Maybe it was that other guy. Oh, he said it wasn't him? Well, it's nobody, I guess.
Weird.
So don't play Diablo Immortal. I mean, don't play any of these games if you have any pull towards any of their addictive nature and their preying natures. It's a bummer on so many levels. I don't know. It plays fine, but that's sort of not the point, unfortunately. Polar opposite, I have been playing a little bit of Poinpy. This is Poinpy. This is one of Netflix's games, which is still a wild set of words. It's made by the Downwell guy, where Downwell was
It's opposite, isn't it? It's upwards rather than downwards.
Right. Downwell was a 1-bit black and white and red game where you're going down a well. Poinpy is a very colorful and very well animated game where you're collecting fruit as you go up kind of the screen. You're not even really like going up anything. You're collecting a bunch of fruit to feed the giant monster that you butt stomp on to start the game. It is very cute. It is super good. It controls perfectly like all of this like Downwell did, like all of these guys' games do. And if you have Netflix, you can just go download it on the Netflix app, which is weird. Like you go look for it in the app, and then for me on iOS, it just brought me to the iTunes or like the app store. I downloaded it. I signed into the app with my Netflix username and password, which is weird. And it was like, oh, hey, welcome to Poinpy. It's like, this is okay. This is all really odd. But if you have Netflix, like you probably do, go play Poinpy. It's fun. It's super cute. Tutorial is good. Talked about Destiny 2. Werewolf the Apocalypse, Heart of the Forest.
Oh, man.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You want to... Can you guess this is a World of Darkness game by it having 15 words in its title?
It's also a solid B-tier game that I've been eyeing.
You probably haven't been eyeing this one. You've probably been eyeing Werewolf the Apocalypse... Something else.
Earthblood is the one.
Earthblood. Yeah, you've probably been watching Earthblood. Nobody else.
I've been watching Earthblood for sure. But
yeah. Heart of the Forest, I've been keeping an eye on this one really closely after we played Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York, which is also a Wolf title, on Game Club, and we found 3 or 4 major things to be frustrated about on that game, and looking at the store page for Heart of the Forest, it seemed like it was a game in the same vein that kind of learned from the mistakes of Coteries of New York. I have played probably about maybe half an hour or 45 minutes of this. It is a very similar game where it is a pretty pure visual novel. This one instead has all the text on the left side of the screen, and all of the art, which is really good, is on the right-hand side of the screen. But what this game does, which I was frustrated at Coteries of New York for not doing, is you have a full RPG, like tabletop-style character sheet. So it shows your relationships with other characters. It shows where your rage sits at, your health, your... there's one more bar on there, too. I don't remember what it is. But it's... One of our frustrations with Coteries of New York is, like, if I keep using my vampire powers, there's some effect, but I don't know how close I am to dying. So when do I need to go do something? And it's way easier to balance that stuff in this game overall. I'm not super deep into it. So far, the writing is really great. The choices are very clear about this will increase your rage, this will decrease your rage. This is kind of the median path that you're going down. Depending on all the choices you make very early on, you're kind of filling out what kind of werewolf you are. So far, I'm kind of like a not leaping to decisions, not like thinking with my fangs forward, and kind of trying to be a little bit more even-keeled and analytical, which the game is sort of clearly laying that out in my character sheet, which is great. So looking forward to playing more of that. This seems to be the thing that I wanted Coteries of New York to be. So I'm hoping this one kind of doesn't trip over itself in like literally the last 10 minutes like Coteries of New York did.
Yeah.
Still like one of gaming's biggest bummers, man. Jeez. My last game, though, released this week, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah.
If you're listening to the show,
at some point.
yeah, if you're listening to the show, go play it. This is, to me, this is this year's Streets of Rage 4, where it's like, yeah, you made another one of these, and it's really, really good. I played through probably about 3/4 of it yesterday by myself, and that was a good experience. And then my wife and I this morning blew through the whole game in one sitting. It took us probably like 2 hours and change. So it's
That's not bad.
it's like 16 levels, and each one is really solid. Nothing ever feels like it overstays its welcome. It is not this like, and I don't have a problem with any of these, but not every beat 'em up game needs to be 20 hours long, have like a skill tree and all this stuff. A lot of it is just like, yeah, man, let's beat up a bunch of foot soldiers and beat up a bunch of bosses that you may or may not remember. It's really good. I Tribute came out with another just hot banger of a pixel game, and it's really great. I'm looking forward to playing it a whole bunch more, because each of the 7 characters that are in the game level up individually, and like every couple of levels you'll get like an extra pip on your health bar, or you'll get a future like a longer super bar or something like that, or a new move or something like that. And there isn't much more for me to say about this. Just go play it. It's really great. It's 2 thumbs up. And you can play with 6 players, which is still stupid. That's so good. Jeez. All right. That's all I've been playing this week. Let's take a break.
Yup. Very much.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna have to look to see if I could hook up one of my 360 controllers to one of my other Xboxes, so that I can have a 4th controller, so all 4 of us can play it.
Yeah, we actually.
So I'm pretty sure I can hook it up to my S.
Yeah. What's the maximum number of controllers you can plug into one Xbox? Is it 4 or is it 8?
I mean, it's USB. You can technically plug in 126 devices. And
Sure.
This is probably one of those questions that no one ever really thought to think about or ask.
Yeah, because the PS4 and PS5 I think is 6. Looks like it's 8 on Xbox. Oh, that's for the Xbox One.
Well, I've got my Series X in here, and then my Xbox S out in the living room. So 2 of us could be in here, 2 of us can be in the living room.
Right. Yeah, it looks like the maximum amount of controllers would be is 8. Though, like, I don't think any game supports anything close to that. I think this Shredder's Revenge is like, that's probably the highest player count I've seen. But it seems like, we didn't try it, but it seems like you can combine couch co-op people and online people at the same time. Which is cool. That game's great.
So 8 by Wi-Fi, and then you can have 2 USB hubs connected to 5 Xbox One wired controllers to 2 USBs on the back of the drive and the side USB.
Oh, okay. Right. So you can use a hub to split out to more wired ones.
And then everyone's like, I don't know, it looks like most games don't support 8 players plus, so there isn't a way to test that.
Yeah, like... Yeah, there aren't a whole lot of games out there that'd be like, get you and your 15 closest friends in your living room.
I mean, GoldenEye's coming.
Yeah. Literally like the worst kept secret in gaming in a long time. It's just like, GoldenEye, no, I didn't... 10 Microsoft employees just got a bunch of achievements, but no, that's not... Don't worry about it. It's fine. Yeah. What time is it? 4 o'clock. Jesus. That's a lot of games. Gosh. Well, I think we'll skip the email from this week then. Oh, Moon and I still have to record another episode. Biscuits. Oh, no. We'll definitely do that then. What you drinking, Boston? I am drinking a Red Bull Peach Edition. Can't see it because of the glare. It is Peach Nectarine, my favorite.
I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Ice black tea from Starbucks. Getting all the caffeine all at once. Yeah, the Peach Edition is probably my favorite. There's a grocery store near me has a summer edition right now, which is it's like tangerine and strawberry, and that one's really good too.
I don't buy Red Bulls that often.
Yeah, that's the only one I really like. Like, a lot of the other ones are kind of fine, but I also like them because they're not like the like giant like Arizona. Some of them you buy are like, here's like an Arizona iced tea sized can. It's like, I do not need that much of whatever is in here.
But for the cost of 99 cents, you could harness the power of the sun.
That's right.
For 48 I feel like, straight hours.
I feel like if I really need it, I should just save it, like break the glass in my thing. It's like, all right, here's a 48 ounce of bang energy. It's like, all right, I'm gonna ruin my whole week. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man. Okay. Are you guys ready to finish this thing up?
Yep.
All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of June 20th, 2022. Fall Guys comes out to PS5, Xbox One, Series S and X, and Switch. This is on the 21st, on Tuesday. This is the free-to-play launch for Fall Guys. Don't forget, it also has cross-platform play and cross-progression. So download it on everything you got, and run those beans and get them harmed. If you haven't played Fall Guys yet, you really should. It's really great. They just announced a really devious new...
the rotating hexagonal...
Yeah, a rotating hexagon. A nightmare factory. Really good. Yeah, go play Fall Guys. It's really, really great. Shadowrun Trilogy comes out. PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series consoles, and Switch. This is a Game Pass day and date. I have we were talking about this during Game Club yesterday that I think Musim has bought this for his Switch, and I've purchased this for PS5, and I am really, really looking forward to playing through these games because Musim really enjoyed all 3 of these games, especially the second and third games, and they seem like they're directly up my alley of kind of like a cyberpunk visual novel with XCOM. So that's 3 huge checkboxes they got checked all at once.
As I say, I think I've only played the first one. I don't think I played the Hong Kong.
Yeah, apparently the first one is game. It's like Hong Kong, and I don't remember what the other one is. But based on what Musim said, the first one is okay, but the other 2 are like above and beyond, like way, way better than that first one is. So looking forward to finding out pretty soon. Deliver Us the Moon gets a PS5 and Series console version, which people seem to like that thing.
Was that the one game.
Was that one both you guys played?
I know I did.
Yes.
Because there was
Yeah.
that one and the other one that was like the camera game that was also in space. 'Cause
Yeah,
that happened
yeah.
to be the year for narrative space
Right.
games.
Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
it'll get a native version on both of the current gen consoles. Naraka Blade Point comes out on series consoles. This is a Game Pass day and date. We just talked about this was last week for Not E3, and it's out. So if you wanted to play that like MMO hack and slash multiplayer thing, and go get that on Game Pass. Sonic Origins comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series Console, Switch, and PC. This is Sonic 1 and 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and Sonic CD. Kind of lightly remastered these. There's an unlimited lives option. Put widescreen support in there. There's apparently like new animated stuff in there. It looks fine. It also has the wildest DLC scheme that I've ever seen, which is stupid for like a remastered collection of Genesis games. Just really weird. So yeah, I don't know. You've probably, if you're listening to this show, you've probably played these games already. It does not seem like it's a required sort of package, like maybe something Digital Extremes has done. Capcom Fighting Collection also comes out PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. This is kind of neat. I kind of like. There's a bunch of Street Fighter games, a bunch of Darksiders stuff, a couple of smaller games in here. Looks like they have well preserved these games. I'm certainly not the guy, and this is not the show you go to for fighting game breakdowns. I don't know if it has rollback netcode. I don't know if it has netcode. I don't know. You'll need to do your own research for that.
Don't even know if it has online.
Yep,
May just
no
be
idea.
co-op. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no clue. And lastly, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes comes out on the Switch. This is the Musou Fire Emblem Warriors game. Seems to be like an alternate telling of the Three Houses game. So if it's a Nintendo Musou game, it's probably pretty good. History has said all of those are pretty solid. Let's have a couple of news stories here from like the back half of Not E3. First up, unsurprisingly, Persona 3, 4, and 5 are also coming to Steam and PlayStation platforms as well. Persona 5 Royal comes to Steam and PS5 on October 21st, 2022, along with the Game Pass release. Persona 3 Portal and Persona 4 Golden will come to Steam and PS4 in 2023. I still think it's really interesting that Persona 5 Royal is getting a native PS5 version. I have not seen anything they're going to do to that game, so that seems like a really strange choice. I swore that was maybe 60 frames already, so if not, it would be nice.
Just a regular version wasn't that far off.
I thought so. Like I don't remember it being 30 frames. If it was, it didn't matter that much that it was 30. So whatever. If it gives more people to play Persona 5,
style to that menu.
That's right. The UI has more frames, but not anything else. Yeah. If it gets more people to play Persona 5, then I'm more than happy for them, because Persona 5 Royal is really good. Look up a guide for what you need to do to get the true ending before you start.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah. Square Enix had a Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary stream, which also I did not realize it was the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII. That is super wild. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is now out on Steam. I have to make sure I get each one of these games' titles right. That's now out on Steam. That is verified Steam Deck compatible. It is $70, which is stupid. So it is on sale right now for like $40, I think. That's more like the price you should be paying.
And this also comes with the Yuffie DLC.
Yeah, because Intergrade comes with the DLC integrated in it. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake, very good. Also, really disappointed that it was not announced that it is also coming to Xbox platforms at the same time.
Yep.
I could have put money on Square saying like, hey, it's our exclusivity window is over with Epic. It's coming to Steam. It's coming to Xbox. I could see them not wanting to put it on Game Pass, but I could see, like we were talking about in Discord, Final Fantasy VII Remake on Game Pass would be an incredible driver for people to Game Pass. So I could see how Microsoft would be like, hey, if you want this thing on Series consoles, that bad boy's got to go on Game Pass. And I could see Square sort of balking at that.
And that may be the reason why it's still not on Xbox.
Yeah, and I'm at this point, I don't think it's going to happen. And I think that's a real bummer. That game is really good, but it stinks that you can't play it if you don't own one of the two $500 impossible to find brand new consoles. Like that shouldn't be the thing. Hopefully you have a PC that can run it, because that's great, but it's
or you got a hold of a Stream Deck for early pre-order.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're spending $700 on a tiny computer. But yeah, that's a real Square, again, seemingly missing an incredible obvious opportunity to not only make players happy, which is probably why they're not doing it, but also make multiple truckloads of bajillions of dollars. So of course they're not doing it. They showed off 3 mobile games, whatever. That they don't really matter. It's new seasons of something, so whatever. They showed a new trailer for Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. We haven't talked about this for a while, if we've ever talked about this on the show. It's essentially like the Cliff's Notes smushing together of every Final Fantasy thing. So that's Advent Children, Before Crisis, Crisis Core, Dirge of Cerberus, and Final Fantasy VII itself. So it's kind of like the Final Fantasy 15 portable thing they made, where they kind of like condensed the game down into a thing. This looks really cool. They're going to do a beta test here sometime in 2022, and I'm really excited to see it, because we didn't get Before Crisis here, because that was a flip phone game in Japan.
Yeah,
it was like one of those Docomo games. So
because you played as the Trunks in that.
Yeah, the Turk,
Ellie or Turks. Yeah,
you played as them. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, so I'm excited to see not only, especially for people that are interested in remake, but maybe don't want to go play. They don't want to watch the movie, and they don't want to play this and play all of Final Fantasy VII. And maybe this is like a good way to get like the Cliff's Notes or the Spark Notes.
You don't want to play. You don't want to deal with 600 hours of content before playing the remake.
Exactly. How many times you want to make this dolphin jump? Next up, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. They're doing a big old remaster of this PSP game for Crisis Core. Crisis Core was really good, and you didn't play it because you didn't own a PSP, and I can't blame you.
But now it's coming out on everything, so you don't have an excuse.
Yeah, man, this looks really good too. Crisis Core is a wild game where you're largely, like in the first segment, you're pulling a slot machine to see what sort of attacks you get. It is a crazy thing that works really well. I never went through half of the content in that game, because like you finish that game and they're like, right, here's 200 side quests, and they're all really good. It's like, oh god, okay, I don't want to do this on the PSP, but now on the PS5, you could talk me into it.
Harnessing the power to get PSP
of
games
cell
to 60
technology.
frames. Yeah,
at last.
Yeah. So Crisis Core is really good if you've ever been interested in it. It's a really cool thing. They also showed off the first short trailer. It's like maybe a minute and a half of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, aka Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. Is coming out on the PS5, apparently only winter of next year.
Yep.
So I want to say I'm surprised, but I guess I'm not. The trailer largely dealt a lot with rewriting the future and fuzzy memories. So if you have played Final Fantasy VII, you probably know what both of those things are, especially after watching that trailer. I'm still very curious to see where they're going to go with the thing they call out specifically in the trailer. So I will be there at the end of next year, ready to go. Shockingly, after loving the first one, I am ready to go for the second one.
And the music in that first one, though.
Oh, it's so good, man. And then they eventually, at the very end, said like, "Oh, by the way, this is a trilogy of games. You probably assumed, but this is a trilogy of games. Don't worry your pretty head about the third one. That's not even time.
It makes sense because Final Fantasy VII came on 3 discs.
That's right. Yeah, here in the US it came on
Yep.
3 discs. But they're not even like, don't even worry. When is it going to come out? I don't even know, and don't even the name. Yeah, it's silly questions. So I'm in. It's shockingly the remake I didn't think we needed turned out to be something totally different that I'm way into. So it looks really great. Cloud's voice actor continues to be really good. Shockingly,
all the voice actors are really good.
Yeah, they are really good. Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting to see how they take Kate Seth, though. That may be annoying, but
yeah, I hope they pull back on that a little bit this time. But yeah, short and sweet, like 7-minute, 8-minute stream they did, where it's like, here's some Final Fantasy, here's a bunch of merchandise you can buy. Anyways, bye. It's like, okay, you showed me all the things I needed. That's fine. Alongside that, like we talked about in our first segment, Dragon's Dogma 2 revealed. Yes. It is currently in development using the RE engine. Actually, what? That's incredible.
Yeah, they have a hell of an engine. They should use it.
Yeah, I mean, just like, that's going to look so good. It's going to look so good. The director, art director, and project lead are all returning from the first one, which is pretty much all I needed to hear to just get uncontrollably excited about Dragon's Dogma 2. There is no other. The most information we got was the logo on a T-shirt, so it is obviously very early in development. But whatever, it's happening. Don't get canceled, please.
Well, at this point, I think it's one of those games where they can't cancel it once they've announced it.
No, like you can't.
Unless you want rioting in the streets.
That's right. It's like canceling a Dragon Quest game.
I was going to say, the last couple of years have been a really good year for remakes and continuations of games that no one thought was going to happen.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we got Streets of Rage 4. That was never going to happen.
Dragon Guard 4 win.
Oh man, yeah. I really want like, they don't even need to do much to those previous games. They just need to fix the frame rate in 3. Especially. Yeah. Like, man, that was a PS3 game through and through. Yikes. And last news story here, Citizen Sleeper to get 3 free DLC episodes starting in July. This news story is largely for me, but that's okay. I want to tell you guys to play Citizen Sleeper because it's really great.
And it's on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. It's so good. First up is Flux, which is landing next month. Second one is in October, and third one is sometime in 2023. Developer took to Twitter this week just saying, like, I don't really know how this stuff is really going to work mechanically. I just wanted to tell more stories in this world. You guys clearly love this game, and I want to give you more free stuff. So we'll see how it goes, and hopefully you guys like it. So 2 thumbs up. I appreciate it. Good job. Go play Citizen Sleeper. It's great. It's only like maybe 5 hours maximum. So, and it's great. All right. We've been recording forever. So we're going to save our email. Thank you, Jimbo Jangle, sending us a happy Father's Day to the dads and cat dads and dads of both email. Appreciate it. We'll save that one for next week because we've have sort of run out of time here. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. You can visit us at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page, including links to the Discord server, or you can go to discord.tvgp.tv. And the YouTube channel, which I should probably put a subdomain in for that as well. We record video of everything we do, even if we don't live stream it. So video versions of all the shows is over there. And go check out patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers.
You talked about all the cool behind the scenes stuff you get and the early access stuff you get at the beginning. Your patronage and your financial support means that we don't have to take ads from Manscaped every other week, which I greatly appreciate. So it keeps us paying
Unless
for the hosting.
Want us to talk about the new 4.0 or
that's
whatever.
That's right. Use code. Yeah. If you really want to listen, they keep hitting me up. So if you really want us to talk about that, I guess email us. I'm not expecting to get any emails though. But you can support us financially over there at patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones are numbers.
Thank you, Nate and chat, for saying you guys rock. That's right. You and all the other listeners rock too. If you can't support us financially, totally appreciate that. Times they do be tough. You can support us though by telling your friends, sharing stuff on social media, liking, subscribing on YouTube. All of that stuff really, really does help. I know like, comment, subscribe is a meme, but that stuff genuinely does help a ton.
And we don't throw it in your face with a yo, bro, or hey,
That's
what's
right.
up?
Yo, what's up? It's Boston. Brr, brr, brr.
Click that button down below.
That's right. Slap that bell. We don't do any
It's
of
your
that.
girl.
That's right. That's right. We don't do any of that stuff, thankfully. All right. That's a clear sign that we should wrap this episode up. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
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 All right, Nimp. What are your titles?
All right. I have Let Gravity Help. And then apparently my brain just shut off and I didn't write anything else.
That's about what I did, so. Moon, do you have anything?
All the way old man, he's got a flip phone, a Revenge on Hand Manor, and the Mass Effect Curse.
Oh, the Mass Effect Curse is good. What was that one about?
Screwing up your character and not
really
realizing
crappy
it.
face
Yeah.
looking people
Man, that
when
one's
they
good.
get to actual games.
I have Revenge on Hand Manor, Let Gravity Help, and the Mass Effect Curse. Those are my kind of 3 standout ones. I kind of like Revenge on Hand Manor or the Mass Effect Curse.
I'd go Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Okay. Circling it. I'm gonna know when you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 765 for June 20th, 2022. The Mass Effect Curse.
Only photograph me from the front.
There isn't a helmet thick enough to hide how much I screwed this up.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us, watching, listening. I hope we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Boy.
Goodbye.